Those jeans are cute. Want some of my smoothie? Wait, you should put this pillow under your knees first.
He gives me love kernels. Each little crumb another tasty clue. Love kernels. Cause if you read between the lines, he's saying I love you. Love kernels. Save those kernels up to make a bowl of popcorn. Love kernels. A handful is the proper serving anyway. I know when you say I wanna go to Colorado sometime, it means you're thinking about the future with me. I know a 3 a.m. text means I was in your dreams before you woke up to pee.
It's a 3 a.m. subtext.
And I know you care when you say I'm going to a movie tonight. My friend bailed, wanna come? It means I'm the most important person in his life, next to his friend.
But he's known his friend since he was like 5, so that's saying a lot. Okay, rude.
I'll do anything for those love droplets. Like a hamster in a cage. Slurp, slurp. Love droplets. Each a letter on a page in the novel of our love. Love droplets. Falling down from the sky. And when I mix it in with the tears I cry, it makes a full glass of water. God, I'm thirsty after all that popcorn. I'll be patient until the droplets become a river that needs a dam. I'll be patient until the kernels rain down like candy on Shaquille O'Neal in the movie Kazam. Whatever you got, baby,
This
I'll
is,
take
as they say, better. It's not just good. It's better than good. It's good enough.
Oh.
It's better than good. It's fine.
I really thought we were gonna do the cereal thing together, and we didn't. It's great.
There we go. We did it. I love to eat my Frosted Flakes.
They're more than good. They're great.
The tiger, right?
I believe so.
The hot tiger. There's gotta be.
And we can say that now.
Yeah, we can say it then, but we're definitely free to say it now. The woke left won't come after us for lusting after this tiger. There's got to be a very vocal contingent of people who are horny for that tiger, right?
I think the woke left is the more...
They're gonna judge us for bestiality.
Not the right. The right is pro, like, furry cereal.
I spend a lot more time on Twitter than you do.
Okay.
You would be shocked at the number of right-wing fascist furries you can encounter on a sort of day-to-day basis.
Fury furries.
Yeah, furious furries, absolutely. They are not calm people. I'm not saying all furries, but certainly the right-wing fascist furries are not chill.
Not
They're the opposite
all
of chill.
furries.
Hashtag not all furries. I have nothing against the furry community. Folks get a bad rap, except for that, like, one furry convention where they, like, basically destroyed a hotel. But other than that...
There was a furry convention where they, like, beat up a bad person.
Where the Fury gang fucking stomped out a troubled element.
Yeah, I remember watching the video. I think Jace showed it to me, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing.
Showed you a video of, like, a man being stomped to death by, like wolf costumes.
So he was like a bad person, and I
fucking yiffing all over this dude on the ground.
I wish I remembered what the crime was.
Fucking wild.
Now I need to look it up.
Yeah, just... There's no justice like furry justice. Furry justice is... I'm about to go pitch that to Cartoon Network right now. A different premise, but I think that's a good pitch.
I am vengeance. I am furry.
I am furry. And I think that would fit right at home on the home of Dexter's network. Home of Dexter's laboratory. God damn, I'm tired.
I asked in advance. I was like, "Are you
no, but it's like the right. I'm not gonna be. I'm not just gonna have my salient, beautiful points, but I'm at like an okay podcasting point. You're gonna have to be the smart guy on this one.
Okay, Yep, that's me.
IQ genius over here. I'm a Mensa, just more like Misa, because I am in it.
I actually scored a perfect score on long-term memory.
Whoa!
when I took like a IQ test or some sort of intelligence
Long-term
test.
memory
And
is on the IQ test?
I don't think it was technically an IQ test, but it was the test that was like, you have ADHD and dyslexia and dyscalculia
that's definitely not
and
the
dysgraphia.
IQ test.
Yeah, you have all of these things, but you
You have
scored
great
perfectly.
long-term
Yeah,
memory.
genius percentile long-term memory, which is funny because I'm like, that doesn't really make sense with PTSD and trauma because I just block things out. So the things that I do remember, it was like the diameter of the Earth, which I don't know now, and
But
a
you
couple
knew it
other
then.
things. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I lost the touch.
You once knew how big Earth was. How big Earth be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Evan Almighty passed by on Roku City again, and I'm once again upset about the premise of Evan Almighty.
Yeah, can you
Summarize for our listening audience.
Yeah, can you just speak on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I will speak my truth while you look up this furry snuff video.
Found
or
it,
you're
found it,
still
found it,
okay.
found it,
Great, great, good.
Yep. Furries stop assault of woman on San Jose streets.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's
what I-
which should come first, the Bruce Almighty or our live watch along of this furry YouTube video?
It's your truth.
Okay, let's just get Evan Almighty out of the way.
Yeah.
So as I was saying before we started recording, there's some fundamental issues with the premise of Evan Almighty, a movie I have not seen. Of course, it is a quasi spin-off sequel to Bruce Almighty, starring Jim Carrey, wherein he gets the powers of God. God, of course, played by Morgan Freeman. That film made a lot of money because it catered to both Christian audiences and normal ones. And so they wanted to make more money off of it, which, again, fair enough. Can't fault you for it. So they decide, and Jim Carrey said, no, I have other things going on. I have to go make, like, Fun with Dick and Jane or something like that. So Jim Carrey's out, but you got this other guy in the supporting cast who played a rival news anchor, Steve Carell, and he's about to pop. Anchorman's coming out. You know, he's hot business. He's a hot commodity. The Office is coming out. Let's get this guy in a fucking movie. And so they make a film called Evan Almighty, where instead of getting the powers of God, he is sort of elected as a new Noah figure to gather two of every animal and his whole family. I want to say his wife is played by Lauren Graham of Gilmore Girls fame.
Oh.
Which is like this oddly specific premise that like doesn't fit this character, and also the scripture says that God said he would not flood the earth again. He promised. He put it in writing.
You're a Christian man.
I'm a devout follower of the Lord. Every listener of this podcast would know that already. I didn't even have to say it.
That's where our fan base, like the largest chunk of our fan base, is from our Christian followers.
Our Christian followers. You know, peace and love to all you out there.
Live, laugh, love, baby.
Live, laugh, love, as Jesus said. He said to eat, pray, love. Now, furry snuff film, please. Okay, so this is news.
Okay, that's my
Hey, no, Joe, no! Well, some video of a bizarre scene on the streets of San Jose. Several people who'd been attending FurCon Friday night came to the aid of a screaming woman inside of a car. One
FurCon, where we're training the new elite soldiers of the streets.
Several more helped pull a man out of the car who'd been assaulting a woman. They then sat on him and held him for police. Suspect arrested for domestic violence.
Slay.
Yeah, but when they sat on him, he got off like so hard. That was a real trigger for that man.
That's what sucks about those situations.
about those gentlemen.
I mean, I guess that's like what happens with a lot of Marvel women, though, right? You're like, oh, you're killing me, but you're so hot.
Happens with a lot of what women?
Marvel,
like from the films?
like if he was so aroused by the furries, then I feel like by the same vein, wouldn't people being murdered by Marvel women?
So say like Gamora
Yeah.
is killing me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd be 100%. Oh, wait, what in our history together would not suggest that like a hot woman killing me would not just be the ultimate
Yeah, that's
That's
actually like an amazing way to go.
I would not. It would be the hardest I've ever come in my entire life. And it is like as my soul leaves my body.
Yeah, I don't think they're like honest about that in the movies. Probably for good reason, because it would then not really be a family friendly.
Yeah,
film.
the children audience would sort of lose it at a certain point.
Yeah, but I do think there's an element of it being really arousing to be murdered by hot people or aliens.
Absolutely. I mean, so much of online discourse these days is about hot people pushing you or killing you or stepping on you. You know, I think we're very public about that now.
Killing Eve.
Killing Eve
show.
fucking turns me on.
That was the whole arc of that show was hot person wants to kill me. Let's make it
Sounds great.
happen.
Eve?
Killing Eve.
Uh-huh. That's what they're trying to do? For the whole show? They're bad at killing Eve.
They are bad. For the best assassins in the world, they're pretty bad.
They're the best assassins in the world? Eve must be a fucking dynamo.
Well, it's Sandra Oh.
Oh, well, you can't kill Sandra Oh.
Exactly.
You cannot.
And that's why it's a perfect vehicle, because
like
hot assassin tries to kill
hot Sandra Oh.
Also hot Sandra Oh.
I think if I was paid a lot of money to kill Sandra Oh, I would get up to the finish line and I couldn't do it. I think
but then
mark this down. This is legally actionable. There are people I would kill for money. I don't think Sandra Oh would be among that legion.
Yeah.
I won't kill anyone.
But then if she took the gun and then killed you, you would come.
Thank you!
Yeah.
Thank you, Queen!
Yeah,
Yes!
That makes sense to
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
That does check out.
Mm-hmm. Because again, it's our entire... I love wrestling, you know what I mean? And there's every week I watch fucking AEW wrestling and I'm like, I let them kill me, I let them kill me.
Yeah.
It's just that is sort of it's just an important part of my life, I suppose.
Do you want to unpack what happened with WWE this week? Since this is a news channel.
Since this is we are the late breaking news. You've not heard this from anywhere else. Now, as I was live reacting to a piece of news a few days ago, that news has since been debunked.
Oh.
Or at least if that ends up happening, it is certainly not in the immediate future because it will involve taking a massive corporation back to private as opposed to public, which it currently is. But there was news going around that World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE, was being purchased by Saudi Arabia, the country, who, to be fair, WWE has a lot of pre-existing relationships with. They do several shows a year over there, that it did seem kind of plausible. It does seem like some sort of sale is eventually going to happen. There are a lot of proposed buyers, but I'll fucking believe it when I see it. To be quite honest with you. So sadly, I guess the WWE will not soon be a part of the Saudi national government.
And that's
the news.
Sports, yeah. Now on to whether it is.
It's chilled out. It was kind of a nice day, but once it became evening, it was really cooled off.
You are actually doing daily reports.
I am actually doing daily weather reports on social media at TV's Kevin Lanigan. I'm telling you, but it's a simple report. I'm not giving you the temperature. I'm not giving you whether it's sunny outside. No. I'm simply telling you whether it sucks or rules outside. Now, I'm not warning you about the day ahead. I'm not saying it's going to rule outside. I am ruling on the day as it is unfolding before me.
Yeah, and from where you're sitting and your perspective and how you regulate you're not.
I'm not taking anyone else's experience into account. I am the universal barometer for how it feels. No, for everyone.
Oh.
I am the universal barometer.
Okay.
And I am, and you can deviate to one side of me or another, but I am the measuring stick. I am true neutral. Everything else is a deviation. My internal temperature workings which are so frequently the cause of...
The thermometer, if you will.
My internal thermometer, but really my internal sort of central air, which dictates how warm...
Central or sensual?
Both. What is more sensual than central air? To quote the movie Dogma, no pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than central air. But I am the true neutral. Yes, and my internal temperature, which is constantly a cause of me not being able to sleep in various places, including my own home, because I just cannot get my internal temperature right. A storm rages within me. I am constantly not able to sleep because of how hot it is, even if it's not that hot. I am the gauge. Everything else is a deviation. So I'm just simply here to report whether it sucks or rules outside. Yeah. I am not a meteorologist. I'm not warning you of the day ahead. I'm just I calls it like I sees it. Yes.
Okay. Because I was watching some of this content throughout the last 2 weeks of this year, since it seems it started 2023.
It began on January 1st, 2023.
Yeah, so I've been checking in and out, and at first I was like, oh, like, I don't know if I always agree with this. But then I was like, well, luckily this isn't like God. This isn't like the deciding thermometer.
It's not Evan Almighty over here.
But what you're saying is like it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I can go back to
I don't think it's fair because I'm not God. I'm not changing the weather. No, I am just telling God whether or not he did a good job today.
I guess so.
I'm telling Bruce Almighty whether or not he did good.
And your opinion is definite. So when
it is not an opinion. It is fact. So if you don't like it outside when I say it rules outside, sorry.
Sorry what?
It's not. You're wrong.
I'm just wrong.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Okay, I'm glad.
It's clean. It's easy. There's no median, okay? I am the judge and the jury and the fucking meteorologist.
How does that feel?
No power is going to my head.
Okay.
My head is clear as the sky on a beautiful winter's day.
And did you retire as president of Netflix, and this is sort of where you're spending your time?
Everyone has a side hustle.
So you're doing both?
Yeah, I'm doing both. I'm currently running Netflix, and are many great originals that we are all checking out.
Like
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man?
The Gray Man.
Oh, wait. Can you... who's the star of that one?
Oh, we all know.
Or is it an ensemble?
It's really an ensemble piece. You know, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans are sort of at the center, but Jessica Henwick is there, and Ana de Armas is there.
Obviously.
I recently at a Christmas party that I was attending, a Gray Man bit that I was doing became so powerful that the TV spontaneously turned off its Yule log and started playing the Gray Man.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was just the bit it's the bit that I often do in regards to Netflix originals, where it is like, well, I don't have to tell you about Bird Box. We all watched Bird Box. 1 billion people watched Bird Box. Everyone knows Bird Box. And then it started playing The Gray Man. But I was doing it about The Gray Man.
And that's a real thing?
Wait. Well, don't you know it's a real thing? It was the most watched film of all time, according to my metrics that I released. Everyone on Earth watched The Gray Man, which is why you've heard of it, which is why you're familiar with it, and why you're sure or not sure that it's a joke that I'm making right now. I just
checked, and it is a movie that came out in 2022.
Sure is. Put it up. Throw it on.
On Netflix.
Throw it on while we're podding.
Okay.
It will not distract us. It's a bad movie. It's a terrible film.
The Gray Man.
Really boring. From the directors Joe and Anthony Russo. You know them. They've directed many of the most famous and popular films in the world. And one day they might direct a good movie.
So you didn't make this one?
Well, I approved it.
Okay.
I'm not a director. I'm not the auteur. I hire the auteurs. I love artists. I love working with artists, and I love helping them bring their vision to the screen. Like Pale Blue Eye with Christian Bale. a top 10 film on Netflix at this very moment.
Interesting.
The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal. You know, like all these Netflix originals that we are all familiar with.
So Shrimp College was the last vehicle that you...
I was really, you know, after that, I kind of had to step back into an advisory sort of capacity. Because
Okay.
I'd said everything I had to say.
Totally.
With Shrimp College.
Yeah.
There was nothing, what else was I to say or do after Shrimp College?
Yeah, you can only really just, like, help other artists find their Shrimp College.
Exactly. The totality of human experience is contained in the Netflix original show Shrimp College, and I had nothing further to. I met my wife on the set of Shrimp College.
That was cool.
It was cool.
You're single now, though?
Listen, you gotta graduate from Shrimp College eventually.
Ring by spring, or just in...
Gay by May, as they always say.
it's that man.
It's Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, he's kind of hot but bad.
He's kind of hot. Look at this opening of The Gray Man. It's very similar to the openings of such films as Ocean's 11, or Raising Arizona, or Out of Sight. Except, what if they looked like shit? That was the big idea when we were making The Gray Man. Was what if we did the opening of many good movies, but just shot it in the least interesting way possible.
I'm captured by the Bubblicious, which is supposed to be, I'm sure, kind of cheeky, kind
of
fun.
it's you better believe the dialogue in The Gray Man, giving you a little wink, giving you a little nudge. This is, of course, Crazy Ex-Pod Friends.
It is,
a show where we watch and talk about the greatest musical comedy television program in the history of the medium, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I am TV's Kevin Lanigan. With me, as always, is...
Kat Scott, they, them pronouns, and we also are watching The Gray Man.
We're watching The Gray Man.
While talking.
It's great for all of our ADHD friends and co-hosts. At any point, if we need to stop watching The Gray Man, I will allow it. I will allow us to stop watching The Gray Man. I mean, how could you take your eyes off of it, though?
Billy Bob Thornton dated Angelina Jolie, right?
Yes, and I believe they
the
kept vials of each other's blood around their necks, which, admittedly, that's hot. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's hot. Harmless weirdos. Celebs, we need weird celebs again. Yeah. Celebs have gotten too normal, too corporate, too smooth.
Yeah, they're afraid of being canceled.
They're afraid of being canceled, or just being clowned on internet. Mm-hmm. If Billy Bob Thornton, and look at that beautiful title card for The Gray Man. Doesn't that just make you fucking excited to watch a movie?
No,
that
because
default gray font.
No, my favorite porn actor is named Owen Gray, and I just I can't let go that this is not about him.
Sure
and
isn't.
It's not his piece, which he deserves.
18 years later, that's quite the time jump in the middle of The Gray Man.
Cities always look so much cooler in the future. They're just there's more lasers and there's more neon.
There's fireworks going on all the time.
There's lasers, there's neon, there's flying things, or things are more streamlined and electric. Things are better in the future. Or they're really dystopian and things are falling apart. But they're nothing has changed, or lasers and neon and sparkly, or everything's crumbling.
Yeah, everything's crumbling. There's really only a few options nowadays, and we've kind of. It's been a while since we've come up with a new idea of the future. Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree.
We did the retrofuturist thing for a little while. We did the sort of 70s Omega Man dystopia. Obviously, of course, then we got sort of the Mad Max vision of the future.
Yeah, like steampunk. My favorite was definitely Xenon era Y2K's idea of what the future is. Like Phil of the future.
Absolutely. Where it's sort of just like weird cyber gizmos. Yeah. Everything has been condensed into a sort of ray gun form.
Yeah, or little chip and lots of holograms.
We knew that food was going to be in pill form. We were fucking sure. But what if you're allergic to pills?
That's
You'll starve and die. Black Mirror! Netflix original Black Mirror. I got an idea.
I was thinking about Black Mirror hasn't dropped anything during the pandemic, right? Because it's actually
No, we're holding back.
It's too Black Mirror to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, what happens when life becomes Black Mirror is our problem.
Yeah, like they were like, we really were gonna tease a terrible future, and then it came.
Oops.
And they're like, well, now
Wow.
there isn't like worse. Yeah.
Don't worry, we got stuff cooking over at Black Mirror HQ.
Oh right, because you're plugged into.
Because I'm president of Netflix. I'm plugged into all my shows. Every Netflix original I have directly supervised. We definitely do not just approve a bunch of anonymous movies to be made for $16. I am overseeing all of the $16 films.
Okay. Awesome. And that's your job title. That's expected.
Sure is. Absolutely.
That's
You
minimum.
know what? It's not in my job description, but I go above and beyond.
Oh, okay. Here I thought it was the minimum.
Everyone wants the president of the company to be really hands-on with the day-to-day minutia. Everyone, I am just always looking over your shoulder. And I'm always telling this to my subsidiaries in Netflix. You know, my subordinates, as I like to call them. I'm always telling them to, the Black Mirror guys, the Witcher guys. I'm like, hey, this better be good. This better be good. What if we did something like this? I'm always saying.
They love it when you
They
spitball.
when I'm spitballing, they love it when like the exec gets into the room and tries to hang. I'm always going into, I think you should leave. We're gonna do another season of that. And I'm always going, and I'm pitching wacky characters. I'm going in there and I have big ideas.
And that's what they pay you the big bucks for.
Oh, they sure do. Your $25 a month Netflix subscription, that go right in the old quote unquote college fund, if you know what I mean.
For little TV's Kevin Jr.
For little juniors, Kevin Whopper Jr.
Double cheese steak Whopper Jr.
Yeah.
Little. So when you watched the first episode of season 2 of Crazy
Wow,
Ex
amazing. On the very futon on which we sit currently.
Yeah.
The first time we have watched episodes together.
I noticed that.
In this podcast, of course, we famously watched many episodes of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend in its original run together.
Yes, but we hadn't done it. It feels right that we did it for the season 2.
New
opener.
season, kicking into it.
Yeah, because like...
We watched a lot of TV on this couch that night. I watched A Gossip Girl, and
That's
I was
true.
laughing and laughing. That's a great show. I wish it was a Netflix original. Oh, HBO, they got us again. I watched, and of course we watched the first episodes of both Girls and Entourage. A torturous experience that, we'll record and we'll talk about. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we might have accidentally started a new
new
podcast.
sub show. It's on the same feed. It'll show up occasionally. I'm not
okay.
promising it every month, but
Okay.
yeah, it's on the same programming blog.
We're taking it. It's the title of it has to do with binary somehow, but we just
We have not cracked that nut. We have not. That walnut remains uncracked.
Yeah, but it's a
Um,
binary
But
exploration.
it's a binary where we watch one episode at a time of both Girls and Entourage.
Famous HBO vehicles.
Famous HBO vehicles, the biggest comedy of the 2000s, the biggest comedy of the aughts. One all girls, one all boys.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's laid out.
Yeah.
And once Girls gets 2 movies, then our work will be done for us. Everyone will be on the same page.
Yes. How did the season 2? Oh, they were in the Corvette.
Yes,
type
we pick up
thing.
right in the wake of the season 1 finale.
He got that
Um,
shirt right back on.
Yeah,
that was the first thing I noticed.
They do confirm that they did fuck.
Yeah, I was shook.
It seemed like, because the way the season 1 finale is cut together, it seemed like they were about to fuck. Or no, I guess they were relaxing in the back seat.
They were on the hood.
They were on the hood, but when she says our love story can finally begin, they are splayed out in the back seat, which is generally a sort of post-coitus position.
Yeah.
A backseat driver, backseat freestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. That was... Yeah, and then it was like Gaslight, Gatekeep, Central, all up.
Oh, she was a gaslighting girl boss, where she tricks Josh into thinking that he said something wrong instead of her. I mean, it's classic. She's a manipulator. She's a wheeler. She's a dealer. She didn't get
Yeah.
this far by playing by society's rules.
Yeah. And then Paula applies to
law school. Which, yes, is this episode as well, because she needs something. She's signing off of Rebecca hijinks and shenanigans. No more little schemes,
That was a
says
good boundary.
Paula.
Yeah, that was a good
That's
boundary.
a great boundary to set, and I'm very happy with a lot of the forward motion that's happening in the Paula verse here. You know, she's done with the little schemes, because we were getting to a point pretty quickly where she was comically morally compromised. Do you know what I mean? Just like to the most absurd degree was like a super criminal. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we're pulling back on that and bringing rerouting her character. And also, I commented during the episode, I'm very happy with like the progression of Scott, her husband.
Yeah.
That character. This is a much more enjoyable dynamic than the oof, I hate my husband thing that was happening. Scott, again, an ideal role of mine of just like occasional husband character who's like, honey, you got this. That's all I want to do on a show.
Yeah.
I either want to be the lab tech who's like, guys, you gotta see this with like this dead body, or occasional husband character.
Yeah, which is a nice, steady paycheck.
For neither, I never have a plot to myself. I maybe get like a B plot like once a season because they just need to fill time.
Yeah.
You know
like
what I mean?
Like a bottle episode.
Yeah, you give me a little one, but even then I'm not carrying the lion's share of any of this. You know what I mean? And I'm just popping in, I say a little something, and most importantly, I collect that check every week.
Of course.
That is the most important element of all of this.
This is your steady family man era of work.
100%. And I'm looking forward to it. I think I don't audition. I'm offer only. And I think when I age up a little bit, I think in like 8 to 10 years, I'm going to be in like a nice prime spot.
Nice.
I think I'm going to age into something. I think it's going to work out really well for me.
That's awesome.
Ideally, some of my projects will be off the ground at that point, so I can just, slide into one of my own Netflix originals as just an occasional husband.
Yeah, I think you'll do okay as president of Netflix. Maybe that's kind of Nepo baby energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have to go do it at Hulu. I have to work my way up from the Hulu mailroom to occasional husband on the fucking Pen 15 reboot or whatever.
You're like, I'm president of Netflix, but I gotta cut my teeth at Hulu.
I gotta earn.
I gotta prove I'm not a Nepo.
I'm not a Nepo baby. I started in the mailroom of my dad's company, okay?
I am a Nepo baby, and I think I'm leaning into that in 2023.
Absolutely. Well, are you a Nepo baby because you are not working in any of the places where, like, these people work?
How do you know that?
I guess I don't. I don't know. I'm very busy at the Netflix office, so I can't keep track of all your comings and goings. But, like,
true.
As far as I know, you don't work at the White House, so... so, like...
I don't.
That's quite the commute.
That's true. I don't work at the White House. I do date.
You don't work at the Twin Towers.
Well, no one does anymore, thanks to Papa.
Thanks to Uncle George.
Papa. Papa, no.
Papa, why? Why did you do that to those buildings, Papa?
I was in first grade. I could have stopped it.
I could have done something. I knew.
I was in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was in first.
I could have gone. I could have stopped the plane. I could have make a stink on the tarmac, and then the plane never take off.
Okay, conspiracy town though.
Yeah, for sure.
My dad did work at TWA at the time, and you know what doesn't exist anymore?
TWA.
Yeah.
Trans World Airlines.
Except for that hotel. Oh, probably because of all the trans legislation.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yep.
I knew.
You trans are killing the airport industry. Or whatever.
That's us, baby.
We hate planes.
Well, TSA hates us, so we
shown up.
hate planes.
Revenge against planes.
Buildings.
You do the opposite 9/11 where you crash a building into a plane.
That's very Marvel.
You take one of those like houses that you like put on the back of a trailer.
Oh yeah.
And you run it into a plane.
That's so funny and so stupid. I've never had the thought. And
You do an 11-9. It's the opposite.
No. That's my sobriety date too. That's perfect.
That's trans Jesus is fucking giving you a gift.
I planned my sobriety date around the election. Famously, you were there.
Famously.
Yeah. So that's particularly
Famously,
funny.
my roommate and I beat up a traffic cone. Famously.
Yeah.
It did happen.
I remember walking from your house after looping Hamilton all night-ish. I
Yeah.
don't remember if we slept. I think maybe.
Could have been.
I don't. But at some point in my stupid little Uggs, because it was really hot for November.
Cha.
I was like wearing shorts and Uggs. Anyway, I went to like an all-night diner across from you, the Courtesy Diner.
Yep.
And
Classic, famous.
I ordered fries, and then I like tipped the waitress like $20 or something, and I was like,
You're gonna need it.
"You can basically."
Hey, Toots, I'm doing you a favor.
That was still when I was in my like I'm the main character in a movie era.
100%. Before your supporting character era.
Oh, it's so much better.
Listen, I watched a rom-com this very evening, and
Yeah?
the best friend characters were Natasha Lyonne and Jason Mantzoukas.
What
And so,
film?
like, Sleeping with Other People
Oh, okay.
with Alison Brie and Jason Sudeikis.
Damn, I gotta.
It's good.
Yeah, check that out.
I got home from like I had a huge heavy backpack because I was dog sitting for 2 days and I wanted to like keep it all in a
Did you
backpack.
put the dog in there?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that why it was heavy?
Yeah, I kidnapped that dog. You know, I had all my shit in it. I biked home from Manhattan with like this huge heavy backpack, and I was like, oh, while I'm unpacking, I'm just gonna like throw on this movie, and then I sat there and I watched the whole thing. I was really drawn back in. I thought it was. I like it more than most people seem to. Certainly, with my Letterboxd mutuals. But I think it's good. I think it's a really, as far as modern day romantic comedies go, which like there's hardly a good one to speak of. Like after 2009, when we killed the romantic comedy dead, this movie came out in like 2015 and has been like was basically the only decent romantic comedy since The Proposal until like last year when we made a couple halfway good ones. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Which ones did we make?
Last year we made The Lost City, which is kind of like an adventure romantic comedy with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
And then we famously made Ticket to Paradise with George Clooney and Julia Roberts,
Oh yeah.
which I had a nice little night at the movies when I saw that one.
Okay, I'm glad you did.
It was exactly what it said it was going to be.
Good.
It was Ticket to Paradise. Like, if you saw that trailer, you knew exactly what you were getting. And I was like, just throw the softball down the middle. Do not do any tricks. I don't want to be subverted. Just throw it. We'll get a ground rule double. We'll go on home. And that's what we did.
It wasn't Tricks It to Paradise. It was Ticket to Paradise.
It was not Trixie Mattel's parody of Ticket to Paradise.
So Trixie Mattel's motel show is on HBO now.
I lost another one.
Yeah.
I lost
It
another
was
good
actually
one.
originally on Paramount, I think. So I bought it specifically to watch
All the
that.
Drag Race stuff is on Paramount, yeah.
Yeah.
Those fuckers over at Viacom.
Does Viacom also do Viagra?
I wish. Get a Viagra with a little like Paramount mountain on it, a little blue pill with all your favorite Viacom properties, all your favorite Comedy Central characters, all your favorite Tom Cruise roles, Sonic the Hedgehog on a Viagra. He's already blue.
It's like saving money. Yeah, and it would be kind of fun. You could like normalize Viagra, like dropping acid with like the fun
This
little...
is all, yeah, the branding opportunities on acid are really weird. It's an untapped market.
Damn. Okay.
When are we going to get the first... Oh, I need to get Netflix original weed circulating. Because it's starting to... we're legalizing it, as all the shirts have requested of us for many years. All the shirts that said legalize it. We're listening. We're listening to the shirts. I sat my ass down and read that shirt. And when are we gonna get like Narcos weed or any of our beloved Gray Man weed? And the weed is gray.
Yeah.
The weed, we
Oh
dye
God, what
the weed.
is happening in Gray Man right now? as I speak?
The man sort of has two jumper cables attached to his lips,
What
and
the
Chris
fuck?
Evans with a bad haircut and mustache.
Very bad haircut.
I would not have.
Ew.
They should have listened to me.
Actually-
I said don't do this.
He looks very gay. He looks very Tom from Holland. What's the very Tom from Finland? Tom Finland.
What?
The very gay illustrations of like really buff sailors like doing sex acts with each other.
I don't think I know that. I should make these into a Netflix original, it sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. if you can get the estate and the rights to Tom of
Which,
Finland.
like, come on, I got Netflix money. We can get the estate. We can get through it.
Were you checking the time to see how long?
Sure
we've
was.
been talking?
From how little we've talked about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, I just wanted to see how far we were into this. Wow, those are some buff sailors, and they seem to be engaging in sexual male acts.
Yeah, but he has a similar.
Yeah, no, you're right. He looks like he popped straight out of one of those drawings.
Yeah.
But back to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Now, you had a pretty negative reaction to the Rebecca and Josh stuff, and if I may, obviously, like, the gaslighting stuff was, like, not favorable. I also think the show, like, knows it's not favorable, but you had a specific problem with, we really skipped over Rebecca and Josh having sex for the first time.
Yeah.
Which feels like it should have been a bigger deal.
Yeah.
In your perspective.
I mean, yeah, to me, I feel like it was, like, leading up to... Maybe, I mean, I know it was, like, sometimes painted as romance, but sometimes it was painted as super lust. There were definitely lots of songs about wanting to have sex with Josh. Like, it was weird that it just, like, then hopped. Maybe it had to do with the network they were on or something. But
well, I mean, the CW, yeah, you can't be doing a lot of... I mean, I guess, I don't know what they get away with over on Riverdale.
I feel like that they usually do a lot of, like, random teen sex scenes, so I was surprised that they just sort of, like...
I mean, we get a lot of sex scenes in these 2 episodes, but you're right, we don't linger with the emotional moment of Rebecca and Josh having sex. But I guess it kind of gets conflated with, like... Instead of doing the duplicate beat of, like, oh, they're together, oh, they're kissing, and they're having sex, it's like we kind of bump it all into sort of one emotional container.
Yeah. I don't know, I think I just, like, didn't, like... It felt like they just, like, decided to, like, skip a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, they decided to cut out a scene, which maybe for the flow they did, but it just felt like... I felt like we were, like, had to, like, fill in the dots about, like, what happened with them, which was kind of stupid because the whole first season was leading up to that moment. So then to be like, now you as a viewer kind of have to fill in the dots about, like, what happened. But maybe we saw enough of it.
Yeah, and then we do certainly, over the course of these 2 episodes, get a lot of Rebecca and Josh having sex with each other.
Which I also find weird tonally. Like, I find it suddenly, it switches to very casual very quickly. Like, I feel like they're, like, constantly changing how Josh, Greg, and Rebecca feel about each other between the last episode of the last season and this episode. And the season, like, the episode, like, the second to last episode, all feel like they have they're all in different stages of how they feel about each other very rapidly. Like, it's kind of like, okay, I don't know, it felt very, like Ryan Murphy Glee. Of, like, now you two suddenly have a plot together, go.
Right, exactly. Ryan Murphy Glee, where, like, Glee is written by, like, 3 different people who aren't really communicating with each other.
Yeah.
So every episode just feels wildly different from the one before. I recently learned that the same thing was basically happening on Modern Family. There were 2 different writers' rooms on Modern Family, and they did not really communicate back and forth.
Weird.
And there was one of the writers' rooms was very, like, sappy, and the other one was, like, very, like, joke-oriented. Anyway, so for all you Modern Family heads out there you go. But yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. That's not an infrequent thing that happens, like, between seasons, especially it's like, oh, you know, this show's going to be off the air from, like, May to September or whatever. I feel like they often use that time to, like, sort of reset things, you know what I mean? But yes, it's definitely, the picture is not super clear on how everyone feels Although the characters also, I think, make a point of that. Of, like, they all find it very emotionally confusing for themselves as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess just the realism. I mean, it's a musical show. I don't know why I care about
The stark real... Yeah, musicals where people never change their feelings and go off on crazy tangents.
Yeah, maybe what's frustrating is what frustrates me about musicals is just the way they're like in service of this.
And the way they're very poorly written, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, and watching this and then comparing it to what I have been watching, which is the new season of the New Generation L Word, this is way, like, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's way better written. I've never seen worse writing, I think,
than the New Generation L Word.
And I can't stop hate watching it, but every choice that they make, I'm like,
yeah,
you had a choice and you made the worst possible version of whatever choice.
Wow.
Of, like, characters do this, what's the worst thing that could happen next, or worst dialogue that could happen next? And
yeah.
It feels like it's just that over and over, and then a couple kind of pose like inserts of like, well, I'm demisexual, which means da 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 da.
Oh God!
And it does that constantly. So like maybe it's educating people a little bit, and there's hot people, but like nothing makes sense ever. Like no dynamics ever make sense with each other ever. But I'm gonna keep watching it because it's representation,
right?
And I'm gonna hate watch it.
Encourage them to make more L Word.
Not just that, but just like it's like basically cultural language and lexicon, like in communities. So it's like it's something that's fun to bitch about, but like it's just also so frustrating as like a queer writer who like this. I'm sure there's so many of us who are just like, just put me in the room, please. Like I don't need to be a star. I don't need to be anything. This is the work. You're doing such terrible work here.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I feel like a lot of contemporary media has become people writing Twitter threads into the TV show.
Yes.
I feel like that happens so constantly now, of like a character just going off on some Twitter thread in the middle of a show or a movie I'm watching. And I'm like, this is not art. This is not like entertainment. This is not what this is supposed to be. It sucks so bad, and I hate it.
Yeah, I guess I haven't thought about it because I'm famously not on Twitter as much as you. I didn't think about it as like a Twitter thread, but it definitely feels like Webster's Dictionary defines love as, and it's that just kind of like over and over and over.
People going off, and listen, I don't need dialogue in my movies and TV shows to be like starkly realistic, because it's not particularly interesting. That's not always. If you watch something where people talk like you actually talk, it's usually not that entertaining. But like, I really need people to stop like fishing for bonus points when they're like writing these TV shows and movies. You know what I mean? I like really need them to stop. Like, it is virtue signaling, not to use that like oft misused term, but like that's all you're doing.
That is
in the middle of your show.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, I feel like the way Pose was written was to spoon feed like moms and women around the country about like basic queer stuff, and this does feel like kind of the same device. And they're like, well, if we're doing this, we might as well like have it this. They're like you hooked up with blah blah blah, like who was it? Who was she? Well, actually, their name is Dre, and they are non-binary. So just the way that it's there's no acting behind it either. It's usually just like some statement, and then
because
they go like back to the beat.
Act like you can't the characters are basically like turning to the camera and being like, okay, so what I said there was.
It feels
just do that instead.
It feels like a sex ed video. That's what it feels like.
That's exactly what it
feels like a sex ed video.
It pauses after they say like something, and they're like, well, this means.
Yeah.
Just do pop-up video. Just do like that old, just pop up like demisexual means in the corner while like the scene keeps
That's
going
funny.
or whatever. Just do that instead.
That's really funny.
I'm fucking sick of it. The other way around. I'm watching just the greatest scene in cinema history. It's so easy to tell what's going on. This parachuting scene in The Gray Man. It doesn't look like absolute ass. We would never put out something that looks like total ass here at Netflix.com. But yes, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Everyone's looking for Greg. Where did Greg go after the events of season 1? He got super drunk at the wedding, and then we never saw him again. Where did he go?
This is my, like, I don't know. Do I not have energy tonight for my one platform? We'll see if it happens. But my one platform is, like, well, they're actually doing an okay job, but just, like, how AA is represented in media
Is something that is important to you.
Is something that's important to me. And I think they got to have a lot of, like, little fun little jokes. Also, L Word is doing some AA stuff right now, too. But they're doing it in such, like, a campy, devicey way that is just so frustrating because there's no realistic representation to bounce it off with. So you just kind of see this characterized version of AA, which is always funny to me. I think he sat in the chair at least. Not that that's a big deal, but I think he stayed seated, which was the first time. Did he stay seated?
When he was telling his little story, he did stand up.
Oh, damn it.
And you don't do that at AA, you're saying. Because I've only seen it in movies, and guess what? People get up, they stand up.
No one has ever stood up in a meeting to, like,
really?
Yeah, I think in LA you can go to the podium, but you don't go it to share your 2-minute share. In New York, almost every meeting I've been to, they time your shares, which I don't actually love, but they time it for like 3. This is some tea.
Well, you don't want someone to go on like a 10-minute share.
Also, wait, while I talk about AA, because I'm just assuming that no one listens to the pod. But if anybody ever did listen to the pod, I don't represent AA. I'm not a voice for AA. If I relapse...
Nobody in general or no one from AA listens to the pod? Both?
I just meant nobody. But, like, maybe nobody from AA, but, like, maybe I...
Nobody, period.
Right now, I'm not sure who listens to the pod.
Fair enough, and I'll never tell you.
Because you don't have the stats.
No, I have them. I don't look at them.
Okay. One day for Christmas, I will ask for the stats. But I'm not emotionally... my confidence isn't quite... I'm not ready. Anyway... I don't represent AA. My opinions are my opinions based on my experience going to the meetings that I've gone to. Every meeting is different. There isn't one overarching AA voice. There are suggestions and there are traditions and there's structures that you can or can't follow, but anybody can start their own meeting. And if I relapse, that doesn't mean that AA doesn't work. It just means that I made my own decision. So if I go off and I be a terrible person, or you hear me make terrible jokes, and you're like, fuck that person, and that person's sober, and somebody I know or me need help, but that person sucks, now I don't want to go to AA, that's why the anonymity is there, is so that it kind of protects not just people who want to be in AA, who, like, need the anonymity, but it also protects the ability for people to come into AA and not have it fucked up by lots of, like, egotistical celebrities that relapse all the time and make it seem like it doesn't work. So that's sort of the anonymous structure. Anyway, so when you see it in media, usually that's because somebody along the way, like some writer, some person, has decided that this is, like, fiction enough to not represent AA. Mm-hmm. And that whole thing feels really culty, because when you're part of any, like, secret thing and then cults are so popular, it's hard, like, not to feel culty. But then you watch this sort of, like, cartoonish version of what you see on media all the time, and then you're like, fuck, like, every addict relapses, and, like, every, like, AA character in a show does this, like, big long monologue. There was this one TikTok that was really funny about, like, if you're in AA in a TV show, but I think it's only funny for other people in recovery, because we're just like, yeah, that doesn't happen. Like, people don't just, like, stand up and monologue for like that long and then like contextualize it with him. It's usually just like, this happened to me today, this is going on with somebody in my life, I'm tired, whatever. It's not like a big like, this is how it all began and these are all the things. Like, it's just so rarely. Anyway. And then I think the hardest was watching someone like eavesdrop in the meeting and have that be part of the plot. Like, it was just like, you didn't need to like find out this way by like listening in. I don't know. I get that I was very curious who in the writer's room had exposure to recovery and if they just asked like surface questions or like how this happened, because usually in TV shows that have AA, Euphoria is probably the closest, but even then, like, the NA meeting was it was different. And it's just some of the like dynamics of like who you get a whatever feels different, but that showrunner of Euphoria famously like has been in recovery since he was a teenager, so it is one of the closer depictions of addiction. But I just get frustrated. Also the casualness of I don't remember if it was this episode or the following episode. I think it was the following episode where he sings his little drinking song.
Yes, it's the following episode.
Okay. I'll wait to talk about that. That was okay.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that was necessarily coherent. But, yeah. I just have feelings about recovery and media.
Understandably.
Yeah. That's my little hill I want to die on.
Oh, well, we can make that happen.
As long as it's a hot person.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a hot person, kill me on a hill, whatever. It doesn't matter what hill. Roll me on down. Yeah, the songs this episode were Love Kernels, the big Beyonce sort of production number.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe the second one was We Should Definitely Not Have Sex Right Now.
Yeah.
Which is a fun little ditty. I find that that's definitely one that gets stuck in my head fairly often.
Yeah.
We should definitely not have sex right now. We should definitely not have...
I guess, like, both of those songs were, like... Yeah, so both of those songs were really sexual. But I guess maybe the confusion was, like, I think...
Well, they're definitely ping-ponging back and forth. Like, Josh will feel one way and then he changes his mind, and then Rebecca feels one way. Well, Rebecca's kind of more clear on the situation. But, like, you know, Josh, certainly as someone who is in the middle of being manipulated, is very like, you know?
Yeah, that is probably just what it is. When you're in the middle of being manipulated, it's hard to know, like, do I want to just be friends with benefits? Was I in love with you? Like, what? Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think as, like, a case study in, like, when you're being manipulated, it's really hard to figure out, like, what your feelings are for that person, because they're constantly, like, mirroring back to you what you're feeling, and then you're like, oh, I thought I was feeling this. You're saying I'm feeling this? Oh. Exactly. You're constantly questioning yourself.
Yeah, I think it's fine for Josh in this episode to be sort of like hot and cold, hither and yon, sort of just like wishy-washy on the whole situation. They do that thing that in media that happens in nice. They poo-poo that thing in media that happens constantly that I'm not like a huge fan of, where it is very much like, well, even if a dude is like under emotional duress, he wants to fuck all the time. You know what I mean? Like, men are sex monsters who just fuck anything all the time. It's not first or second hand. I think there are times when men don't want to have sex. I will boldly say this.
Wow. Okay.
I know. Coming out for the fellas. That sometimes boys don't want to have sex, believe it or not.
That's brave. You should put that on a shirt.
Yeah. Going to the club with my sometimes boys don't want to have sex shirt.
In the back, girls just want to have fun.
Boys don't want to have fun. Yeah.
No, just don't want to have sex.
Ever.
Sometimes boys don't want to
have sex. Simple as that.
And then on
People
that,
asking me questions about my shirt, which are clearly explained on my shirt.
and then you can like clarify, like, but I do right now, or like, but I do with you. Like, it's a nice icebreaker
of course,
for like
of course.
what you want. Yeah, it's a nice flag of like.
It's like a challenge to people in the club. It was like, well, I'm gonna make this guy. Yeah. Like, convince me.
Yeah.
Not
No,
in like
I got it. I got it.
Okay, great. Good. Anyway, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. That's what you missed on Glee.
I don't know if I must at some point in my day not want to have sex. But I just can't name a moment in recent memory where that's true. And I think that is being in 7th grade. Like, I can't, like, hormonally, it's such a switch, where before it was, like, sometimes definitely don't want to, or often don't want to have sex. And now it's, like, a switch has been flipped where it's, like, I could, like, from wake up to go to sleep, like, yeah.
Maybe I'm just...
No.
a freak.
I don't think you're
But
a freak.
if I'm in the middle of, like,
being
emotionally manipulated
No,
and I am aware of it, I don't want
I do
to
think,
have
I
sex.
do think when I'm triggered, like if I have a fight or flight
Yeah.
or something, that is when it all shuts down. But that's the only time anymore. But that's not weird. Like, what I'm experiencing is like an extreme, because I'm like literally injecting into my body like a hormone that like causes that. And
Right.
it's not like something that regularly runs throughout my body as in a normal aging process. I'm like simulating boy puberty right now.
Well, congratulations, and I'm sorry. That must be very hard for you.
Yeah, many people would not, consensually.
Absolutely not. If you asked me to go back to teenage boy puberty, I would sooner be killed on a hill by a not hot person. I would let an ugly person kill me rather than going through puberty again.
That's brave.
Thank you so much. I'm so brave. Yes. So anyway, that's all going on. I would be admit I really like the production, the way the music video for Love Kernels is put together. I think is very it's a spot on bit of parody, I think.
Yeah, especially of the time, but also
and that great shot with all the popcorn rating down that
God.
shouted out specifically. That was just that put that in your fucking reel. Whoever, like, if you had any hand on that ball, put that in the reel. Take credit.
Yeah, and they did make a point that they used their entire production budget on that song, which was funny, because I was like, they must have. It's suddenly, like, drastically better than
I was
anything
like,
else.
this is a much better camera you're using
Yeah.
right now. Like, the aspect ratio fucking changed.
Yeah,
you know?
that shit slapped.
That shit slap. Great. So it's like, and then if you think about it, you're like, what are the other musical numbers in these two episodes? Okay. Just Rebecca and Josh in the apartment set with just like different lighting. Just the home base set singing a drinking song. So like what, you pull like some pork pie caps out of storage. Redressing the Daryl's office set with like some plants and like and a couple bird costumes, but those were not like great bird costumes.
That was cute.
It is possible they used up their production budget on this and are just making it work.
Yeah, that's really funny.
There was one more in the second episode, but it is escaping me currently. Oh, Ping Pong Girl.
That was funny.
There might have been a little money spent on Ping Pong Girl.
That one,
Whoa,
that one
bro.
kind of dragged on.
It
but
goes on too
was
long.
a really funny concept.
It is funny. It does go on. I would say maybe like a verse too long, you know?
Definitely.
But again, Simple Plan found dead in a ditch.
That's what it was. Yeah.
It looks like fucking... I mean,
that was
there
funny.
were a bunch... it could easily be All-American Rejects or whatever, but, like, Josh is styled exactly like the lead singer of Simple Plan, and Simple Plan had all those songs about, like, my alien, she's got 4 arms to hold me and 3 legs to wrap around me and all that kind of shit.
I don't remember that song, but that sounds amazing.
Shit. Yeah, but all those pop punk bands of that era
So
was
into
like,
it. Yeah.
this is the coolest girl in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This chick likes basketball and burgers. Like, yeah.
Yeah, teenage dirtbag. Yeah.
Baby,
This is the story of a girl.
Cried a river and drowned the whole world. Yeah.
Apparently there was a teacher in my either high school or college that, like, hated that song so much, and then he had, like, a homeroom or a group of students that just would, like, torture him with it all the time. You can't tell kids what you don't like.
No, it's a death sentence.
Yeah, you can't, as a teacher, ever tell kids what you don't like.
You're writing your fucking death check. Like, you're done in this town, baby.
Any other... Where are you right now?
I had a...
This is the story of a girl. 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 This is the story of a girl.
I used to play these albums in the comic book store that I worked at, and it made customers very angry, and I was always asked to stop. They didn't like it. They didn't like Neil C.C. Arega's
Oh, I loved him!
Mouth Moods
Oh my God, I
albums.
love
He has
Mouth
4 albums of things like this.
I used to listen to this with John all the time. I used to listen to him a lot.
Oh, it's so good. He released one like during the pandemic, and I like swear it kept me going. Yes, absolutely.
No, I need to listen.
It was called Mouth Dreams.
Give him a musical.
Please.
Or a show. He did Potter Puppet Pals, right?
He sure did.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about Neil C.C. Arega, is that you're like, if there was something on YouTube that you have enjoyed, there's like a 30% chance he had a hand on that ball at some point.
Yeah.
It was powerful, and I bet it's recording really well. This is good audio. This is good podcast. I'll stop.
I feel like I'm being taken somewhere.
This is legitimately powerful to me. I listen to this and I feel like I could transcend my body, that I could... This is an epic fucking movie trailer. Like, I am doing a fucking legit motorcycle stunt off of a cliff. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Like the Gray Man?
Oh, I could fucking be the Gray Man if I'm listening to this.
Which
Baby
one?
Drive, like, if you put headphones on me and this is playing, I could kill the Gray Man.
Which one is Gray?
I haven't watched this fucking movie. I have no fucking idea. Let's say Ryan is Gray.
Okay.
What if Billy Bob Thornton's Gray? That'd be crazy. Gray hair, because he's old.
I listen to Tibetan sound bowls to go to sleep when I can't, and this feels like that. I feel like a chakra is opening.
But yeah, this is transcendently powerful to me, and I will not apologize, despite how much people may want me to. So we're moving on to the second episode now.
Yeah,
and I feel like we've mostly hit most of the points. A lot of the second episode is sort of repetitious of the first.
Yeah.
Although I do like the ultimate conclusion that we come to of Rebecca getting a little bit more of that thing we call self-respect. This show. And I don't know how they pull it off, but can just manage these, like, wild swings of, like, temperament and tone and, like, people feeling aggrieved by the others. It's happened a lot in the first season where, like, a character would be like, Rebecca, I'm fucking done with you! And, like, 1 or 2 episodes later, they were back in the Rebecca thing.
I think
and
about
it
that
was
a lot.
like... But I'm like, I'm not actively annoyed at that like I should be. I don't know how they're pulling it off. Maybe it's all the songs.
Yeah, it might be the songs. I just know I get frustrated because I'm like, where's that in my life? Like, I feel like maybe I have friends.
Where's all the people coming back to me?
Exactly. But I'm like my worst version of myself. Where are the people that boomerang back?
Who
like,
just
2
can't
or
quit
3
you.
episodes later.
Yeah, like Hector says in this episode, he's like, "Why are all my friends fucking obsessed with this?"
That was a
this
great
girl?
line.
Finally, just like putting the hat on it, hanging a lampshade on it. What are we doing here?
See, we're such good Hectors, I feel, for the people in our
100%.
lives. Hector gets the best lines.
I
That's giving us a huge
think I'm a
compliment.
white Josh.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I think I'm a white
Wow.
Josh. I'm a white Joe.
That's so cool.
Like when Hector's like, Greg's gonna be here, I'm gonna order him a beer, and it'd be like, and White Josh is just like, you can't do that. He's like, I don't know the rules. He's like, there's one rule. I'm the there's one rule guy.
That totally tracks.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a White Joe. I resonate with him powerfully. He is my boy. He's my strong woodchuck man.
David
Hull, whose name I will never forget.
And now
Truly, after that moment, I have not forgotten it.
I've been recently practicing saying Io Debris.
Mm-hmm.
Io Debris.
Just so you can like be friends, like when you meet.
Well, I saw her at that fateful Kate Berlant show.
Ah,
that
my
got
goodness!
Canceled, and I
The Bears, Iowa Debris.
Mm-hmm. And I think I said her name wrong when I was trying to recall her name when I was talking to Alex, and Alex just said it so casually, and so then I started watching the same Steve Colbert clip over and over until I could put it into memory. Yeah.
Like you're being brainwashed, or you're like a movie character whose wife is dead, and you're just watching this one clip of like your dead wife over.
Yeah,
and over
I just
again.
watched her interview talking about like when she was a hostess at ABC Kitchen in Flatiron in Manhattan, and
Wow.
Beyonce walked in and she didn't see like an eyelash, and now I've seen that interview like 3 or 4 times, and it's like she's my dead wife that's the
You
one
have this
moment.
one video of your dead wife who's
Yeah.
just like looking perfect
Mm-hmm.
and so full of life and love in this one video clip, and you just watch it like over and over and over again. You're John Wick, you're Minority Report.
I feel like women, usually tiny women, maybe they actually, maybe designers actually request to style them during these, but I feel like when they go on to like Stephen Colbert or something, they're always wearing like really wild outfits. Like it's very rarely like a chill look.
Tiny women.
Silly
outfits. Teeny ladies.
Tiny furniture, Nina Donna.
Nina Donna.
Tiny furniture. Tiny women.
Tiny women.
Yeah, so episode 2. That tickled.
Woo! A little Sondheim for all you folks out there. Benoit Blanc's good friend, Stephen Sondheim.
I saw him twice in my lifetime, and I'm glad I did. Live.
Stephen Sondheim or Benoit Blanc?
Oh, I don't know the other one. That's not the
Benoit Blanc?
Is that the one from
Famed
Glass Onion?
Gentleman Sleuth? Yes.
Yeah, he's hot.
He's fucking hot.
That's a hot guy.
He's a hot man.
Dreamy little dude.
Peace and love to Stephen Sondheim. Also as well. But yeah, anyway, I like the little bit of self-respect that Rebecca is gaining in this episode. That she's like, Josh, you are not paying attention to me in as much as you are unsure of this whole relationship. Like, you are living with me and in essence taking advantage of me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And like, you're not even feeding back into this.
Like, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills?
Can you pay my automobiles? Okay, I'm sorry. Brief. The lyric of that song.
Oh.
Can you pay my automobiles? A perfect bit of songwriting.
Thank you.
That is so like slicily clever. I think it's beautiful.
I was worried you were going to critique it. and
No,
I...
no, I would never. If it is a song by Destiny's Child, I will not accept Beyonce.
Oh,
But if it's a song by Beyonce,
you have such a good
you cannot
memory.
write Destiny's Child. I will never forget. That is my sleep paralysis demon. Is that
Because he does it every
He
week.
does it every week.
He does it every week.
Audience, I'm not telling you what that is. But it It makes my spine crawl.
Have you been more than once?
I've been like 2 or 3 times.
Okay. I'm going to the one that you're good at.
Nice.
That Thursday because my roommate and his boyfriend want to go back.
Nice.
So
there's not another one until February.
Yeah.
Because we're missing another week because the host is going to Sundance.
Okay, same.
Okay, break. Yeah, so there's not another one. And I scheduled my Oscar party for an off week because that's every other Thursday. Thank you. My Oscar party where we watch a 30-year-old Oscars ceremony.
Yeah, what year are we doing?
91.
So
the films of 1990.
So listeners, we are going to watch the entire Oscars from the year 1991.
That's correct.
And if we would
I'm having a little party.
And if we would like to, we can watch, and you can join us. We will watch contenders from that
You can
year.
watch some of the participating films, absolutely. I did like make a ballot. Because you can't just like find a fill-outable ballot from a pre-internet Oscars. So I just had to make the ballots for everyone to fill out.
That's really cool.
Which is why I told everyone not to look up the answers. Because if you look up the answers, you cannot vote. It's not fair.
I love a handmade party trick.
Absolutely.
I guess if you like remember the answers,
That's fair. That's all fair in Love and War. Like that's if you just know what won Best Picture of the year, that's fine. But do you remember what won Best Documentary Short in 1991? My guess is no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So it'll be fun, and I wanna see how that goes. And I was like, what's an Oscars party without a ballot?
I think we have to pause for but a moment.
Pause like on a cat?
What?
Pause.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
I was ready.
I paused the recording.
Yeah, what were we
Like
saying?
I have no fucking idea. I wonder what fun little technical difficulties music I'm gonna put. What little soundscape I'm gonna put in there. It's God only knows.
You should put something from the show.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
One of those songs from this episode, perhaps, or just a little snippet of it.
Maybe just a little snippet of it.
Just a little snippet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what we're talking about, and I feel like we were we should be wrapping up at this point anyway. It's been like an hour and 14 minutes. That's good.
I liked these episodes.
They were good. I
feel like
like this show. I
yeah,
think
I think it's a good show, and I don't think we really spoke on, the plot as much, but I do think we say that every month.
I think the plot is pretty thin, and also we're not like a plot recap show. We're vibes based.
Yeah, it speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself. You don't need me to speak for it, and certainly don't listen to this if you're not watch the show.
Yeah, go with if you're listening to this.
You have Netflix.
Yeah, Kevin gave you.
I gave you Netflix. I make it every day. I'm out there at the fucking mill making you new Netflix.
He gave you his password.
I sure did. I gave everyone my password. That's why we're in such financial straits right now.
Which is what's your password?
Netflix is good. Bird Box.
I actually never saw Bird Box.
Neither did I, but everyone else on Earth did, according to me.
Did you see Gray Man?
Nope, still haven't.
Okay.
This is the second time. This is the second time I've put it on mute in a room that I'm in while doing other things as some sort of grim joke. A joke I can't explain. I'm just always putting on the Gray Man.
Sometimes you gotta have an inside joke with yourself.
But even I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm out. It's an outside joke. I'm not even inside of it.
It's an outside joke with yourself.
I'm looking at this, I'm like, Jessica Henwick, she's been in this whole movie. I don't think she's done anything. You're wasting your Henwick.
And that
You're wasting
surprises
your
you.
Julia Butters.
And that surprises you that the female ingenue talent is wasted.
I mean, everything else I've seen Jessica Henwick in, she's been well utilized. It's two things. It's Matrix Resurrections and Glass Onion. So take that for what you will.
Oh, yeah.
She was fun in Glass Onion. She has the funniest line in all of Glass Onion. My favorite Netflix original.
What?
Jessica Henwick is the one. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
No, Jessica Henwick is the one who says, "Did you think a sweatshop is where they make sweatpants?" pants. And when I saw that in the theater, I laughed and I laughed. They're trying to kill the Gray Man.
Was she the assistant?
Who, Ana de Armas? Or Jessica Henwick?
Jessica Henwick.
In the film Glass Onion, she is Kate Hudson's assistant.
Oh, queer-coded assistant.
No, that is a Jessica Henwick character, so inherently queer-coded. You can't help it.
What a good little flick, Glass Onion. If you haven't seen it yet.
Delightful. Watch it on my Netflix. The Netflix that I make for you. I don't know, Kat. Concluding thoughts? Plugs?
You can find me... I'm not really using my Instagram right now, but that might not be true forever. But you can find my Instagram at catscotonline. I'm also secretly running a meme account because I have two friends who are like very high follower meme admins, and then when I had COVID in May, they peer pressured me to start one. So I don't have a lot of followers, but that's where I post my deep dark thoughts while I stay away from my main.
Yeah.
And that one is Squirrely Fairy 69, spelled SQUIRLY Fairy FAIRY 69. Because fairy can also be spelled in other ways, and I debated it. And I just kind of wanted to say that, like, moving forward, I haven't technically initiated it yet. But I spent the week setting up my nest and nesting for my new personality. And then this week is when it finally is going into action. My new personality is launching. It's been a soft launch, and now the hard launch is sometime in the next 24 hours.
You're beta testing your new personality? Or I guess you're out of beta.
Yeah, so we're actually doing our first run in the next 24 hours, and the personality, unfortunately, but is just the reality is I'm going to be a Peloton user.
Wow.
I have one in my room, in my 9-foot by 9-foot room. It has a 4-foot by 2-foot foot space, so it takes up 4 feet by 2 feet of my 9-foot by 9-foot room.
Does it collapse?
Ideally, no. But
like a purposeful collapse. Because I have an exercise bike and it folds up.
Oh,
Peloton does not fold up?
Certainly does not fold up.
I see. Luxury.
It's a really funky little dude. And that's why it's worth announcing that this is a personality change, because it's kind of like part of the theme of me just embracing, maybe in this new year, ironically or not ironically, that I come pre-canceled, I'm cancelable, I'm a villain, and now I use a Peloton. It's who I am now.
That's amazing.
It is.
So powerful of you telling that.
I think because I'm single, it's like, what do I have to lose? Who cares?
Oh, trust, I've been living that life for quite some time now, and I'm like, I don't know, fuck it.
Yeah.
What else? I keep saying, what else am I doing?
Yeah, like, I can be a little bad.
I can be a little bad. Who's going to stop me? It's not really impacting, even if I started dating someone, it's like, well, you don't live with me.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, really deal with this.
Like, when you open the door, you are immediately confronted with the Peloton, and it is very hard to move in the space of my room without being in it. That being said,
100%.
No one else is in there right now.
So, like, not a problem. Not something we really need to deal with.
Me, the cats, the Peloton, my thoughts.
My dreams. My laptop.
My laptop, my records that my cat uses as steps to climb on top of my record player, which is bad for the records themselves, I believe, because
Probably.
he uses his little claws to climb up them. And so I could think about that, but I'm not going to. I also have plants, I have clothes, I have a projector, I have everything I need. I spent about 30 minutes just inching the Peloton around centimeter by centimeter so that it was in a good spot for both my projector and my wingspan.
Right.
And
you can be able to watch vids while you bike, while you hustle.
Yeah, well, I'll either watch the ones described, or if I feel like I'm finally in a rhythm where I don't need a class to do this, I think they have those like weird VR, like, you're in the mountains, or like you're in a forest.
Through the
Yeah, I don't think it's anything as cool as like Mario Kart, but I think it's like...
that'd be fucking sick though. If we're on fucking Rainbow Road, dude, I'd bike so hard if I was on Rainbow Road.
When I think about it though, the gamification of this, like, it is that Black Mirror episode.
For sure is.
And I have this like projection screen up in my room that I do sometimes watch porn. So like I'm just kind of like a hair away from that episode of somebody forcing me to watch, and then I have to like pay money to like avoid the advertisements.
Oh.
Or like I have to bike in order to make money. Like those are just the two mechanics away from me being in the episode, because everything's set up for it.
You're sort of living several simultaneous Black Mirror episodes.
I think we all are, but at least I can name
for
it.
Sure.
At least I'm media
but yours
literate.
is condensed into a 9-foot by 9-foot room.
Yeah, like I'm media literate enough to kind of be able to know which ones I'm in. I wish I was in San Junipero, obviously. That's my favorite movie.
Obviously.
It's my favorite film, San Junipero.
Wow. What's San Junipero? And
tune in next month when we talk about San Junipero.
Okay, apparently. And we will not be discussing the next 2 episodes of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We will not be discussing Girls or Entourage.
We might.
But we will apparently be
But
discussing...
by then, Kevin will have watched San Junipero.
Okay.
Because I'm not
Your favorite film.
I'm not going to have an emotional reaction as we wrap this. We're just going to... We
just got to move on.
Yep. You're going to watch it. It's going to be something...
This is like when you say something that makes your mom angry and she just like, we're leaving the grocery store right now.
I just like, I can't think until you've watched that.
Until I've watched San Junipero. Well,
yeah.
Get ready to have some blank fucking thoughts. Hope you like No Thoughts Head Empty.
It's just such a big part of me. It's like...
What? You've never brought it up until now.
I have a shirt. I have the soundtrack. I talk about it a lot because it's a lesbian...
never brought up San Junipero to me.
Maybe...
in our entire friendship.
It's so weird. Maybe that I just keep my lesbian...
Wow. You know, if you have friends who don't feel comfortable talking to you about San Junipero, like, are you really their friend?
Yeah.
Are you really supportive of them?
Fuck.
I'm so owned. The woke left is gonna cancel me.
Gather ye round, and I'll tell you a tale of all the great times I've had with a nail. There's joy and there's glory, more than you can think. Yes, this is what happens to me when I drink. I pee my pants, I pee my pants. I get up from the bar to find pee on my pants. I say it's water, but all it takes is a glance for people to realize I peed my pants.
Wow, I did not know it was that bad.
Yes, wine can be fun, white rosé and red, till I call up my boss, say I wish he was dead. Chase down the regret with some gin for good luck, then steal my cousin Jim's landscaping truck. Drive home, then I puke on my cat, I puke on my cat. I fall through the doorway and puke on my cat. Poor little Bruno did not expect that. I try for the toilet, but puke on my cat. While some can enjoy a scotch with a steak, or 1 glass of wine, then they're barely awake. For me, it's much different. What happens when I try to have 1, it just turns into 10. And then I fly a plane, I fly a plane. I knock on the cockpit shouting, I'll fly this plane. We emergency landed, the TSA came. Now I'm banned from Southwest cause I try to fly planes. Everybody!
He has sex with a bush, he has sex with a bush.
That wasn't a woman?
No, it was a bush, it had twigs and leaves, cause it was a bush.
That's where that scar comes from.
From sexing a bush, but he's breaking the cycle and making a push. He's quitting his drinking and saving his pants and his cat and Southwest and Jim's truck. And my car too, and the bush.
I didn't do anything wrong. Yes!
Again, not about you. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. All new this Friday at 9, 8 central on the CW.